What's going on, yo? It's Tyler from the Different Perspective Podcast. I'm here with my co-host Archie Rhodes and our lovely producer Cliff. What's going on with y'all? Yeah, man. Can't leave you out. We can't leave the voice out.
The voice of God. No blasphemy.
Where we starting today, Tyler?
What happened?
So where we starting today?
Let's start on the I don't know which one I want to do first.
You want to get serious, or do you want to be easy throughout, and then we can end it off seriously for the rest of the day?
Let's spark it with Skip.
All right. So if you wrong thing, but let's start with Skip. So if you can give a little bit of background, and then we'll all filler and we'll chop it up, man.
So I'm pretty sure everybody knows the Dallas Cowboys quarterback. How can you not know? But recently he had, spoke up about his brother's suicide, dealing with depression, things like that. Was very vocal about it, forthcoming. But Skip had a very negative tone towards it, about it. He let everybody know, though, before he spoke, that he was going to get ripped about it and shitted on, which was fair. At least he didn't sugarcoat it. But he pretty much said that he kind of, in a nutshell, he shouldn't have did it. I'm pretty sure we all have our views on that. We've all dealt with things differently. But Skip took it to the point where it should have just been ignored, and almost like the LeBron comment, "Shut up and play basketball." It's almost kind of like the same thing for Dak. And the way things are right now, mental health is a very big issue. There's a lot of light being shined on it, more so nowadays. So it's kind of just, he's kind of still stuck in that time where, mental health isn't that serious. Things like that shouldn't be publicized, especially being on the stage that you're at. So Skip kind of put himself in a little bit of a pickle.
So Dak said that his depression would stem from COVID. So it was like, yes, his brother committed suicide, and he did come out and admit that. But he said that the suicide was related more to COVID. I mean, I'm sure the brother factored into it as well, and then his mother also died recently.
Right.
But the way, I guess, from what from what Skip said, it was formed mostly about the COVID, staying home, being away from people. Right. And like Tyler said, Skip did come out and say, people are gonna criticize me for this, and he pretty much said Dak is because he's a quarterback of a team, and he has a bunch of people following him. That he shouldn't say stuff like that. He should keep it private. Like he said he can have those conversations in private. Right. He can't have those in public because now the other teams are gonna use it against him, and it's gonna make things worse. Which I understand that, but I think, like Tyler said, we're getting to a point where mental health is becoming a big thing. And whereas it might happen like that on the competitive stage, with it being such a serious thing and being taken so serious, I don't know if people would use it against him like that. But I don't know. There's a lot of crazy asshole people out there that want to do what they got to do. I look at it as Skip being in his 60s and like just having that old school mentality.
Right.
For me, there's ignorance, and there's like ignorance just because you don't know any better, and then there's willful ignorance. Once you get past like 50, 60 years old, a lot of like ignorant shit, like towards like stuff that's coming to light now, like race, I'll not that I'll give it a pass or accept it, but like the racial shit, like if it comes from an old person, I don't I mean, I still take it offensive, but it's not like I get it a little bit more. You know what I mean?
Because that was their time.
They just don't know any better. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, it's not like they're refusing to learn. They were never taught like that. And I look at it the same way with this shit with Skip. I just think he just doesn't know any better. Like he said, he came from a time. Even Shannon Sharp, who was defending Dak, said that if this had happened in the 90s, he would have got ripped apart.
Oh yeah.
This time, and Shannon praised him for coming out, and I think a lot of people are going to praise him for coming out and admitting that, because that is a strong thing to admit publicly.
Yeah. I think excuse me. It's tough because there were things, honestly, if I'm being completely honest, there were things that I definitely understood from Skip's point. And I look at it too, because if I'm not mistaken, I want to say Steve McNair suffered from depression too. I'm not sure. I don't want to, but I look at it like you're playing for the Dallas Cowboys. You're always underachieving. You haven't got your contract yet. Like there's like so much pressure and things going on with him personally, and on top of being professional, that him coming out and saying that he suffers from depression, or he was depressed because of COVID and things like that's just another thing to deal with. And yeah, it's cool, you know what I mean, like that he came out and he publicized it and stuff like that, but there's to me, you just added a shit ton more pressure to you. Then it's like, now there's going to be these excuses. Oh, he was suffering with this and that. And, like, there's a lot of people, like me, if I was to say it, I'm not looking for sympathy. I'm just putting it out there. But, like, sometimes the sympathy is just too much. And then that becomes like another burden. Then it's like, oh, now all these people are checking up on me. Like, I'm still here. Like, I'm still able to live. I'm still, like, I'm not broken. I'm just letting you guys know. But now you guys are just showering me with all of this, so it's this. I have two views on it. And it's tough. Like I said, he might have fucked himself, but then at the same time, he's kind of just spreading the awareness. Like, listen, we deal with this. Like, I'm a professional athlete, but I do deal with, everyday human things too.
Yeah, I think there's 3 sides to a story. That's the saying, right? And I think one, and I'll probably get beat up for this, but I think I'm going to somewhat salute Skip Bayless for coming right off.
Right.
Saying, hey, he's going to get kind of beat up for this.
Right.
And I think the perspective that he was kind of looking at is more so a business perspective.
Yeah.
As we all know, the Dallas Cowboys, for whatever reason, they're still America's team. I don't get that, but whatever. Probably because I'm a Patriots fan. I'm laughing at that. But there is this standard that as a Dallas Cowboy, they need to meet. Mm-hmm. And being that he's going to get this new contract, is like you mentioned, or looking for a new contract, they're saying, okay, if you're going to be the face of our franchise for years to come, you need to not only excel, but you need to kind of have this bravado or this machismo thing. And that I think stems from his age, but then it also stems from a business perspective where you don't want your quarterback or any player in playing football to just have any chinks in his armor, because it's going to be a sign of weakness. And with football, we all know there's no weakness.
Yeah, no.
Being the head captain of the Dallas Cowboys is one. If you're on the field, and for my little time that I played, which wasn't much, I'd use everything to my advantage. Mm-hmm. Some people would be like, no, that would never happen. It would happen.
Yeah, yeah.
There's other words while he's down, he's tackled. They're gonna whisper sweet nothings in his ears just to get his head. And a lot of especially a person in his position that needs to make all these decisions quickly. If he's getting rattled mentally, how is he going to perform?
Right.
I'm not saying what Skip did was right, but he's just pointing his perspective on the matter.
Mm-hmm.
I do somewhat agree that maybe he should have just spoke with people within the organization as opposed to just putting it out in the air, because then it allows individuals like us to comment about it.
Right.
But it's also a powerful platform to just say, hey, I, Dak Prescott, leader of this great organization, am willing and strong enough to admit I have issues. I'm dealing with some mental health issues.
Right.
Now let's look at the other side. Let's keep it simplistic. Suicide. Your brother.
Right.
It sounds kind of like they were close. Like I was watching and listening to what Shannon Sharp was saying, that they were close because he sees them in commercial. To me, I think it's the other way around, because the statement he said was something like he believes he was going through some stuff.
Right.
So what if it was a situation where they weren't close and maybe the brother did reach out for help and he really didn't help or go the extra mile? So now that's an additive layer of what he has to deal with. You know what I mean? Outside of what people think a Dallas Cowboy captain or captain quarterback is supposed to be. So I think when we're all dealing with things like this, we all really need to kind of just step back and then look at each individual's card, because everyone has a different card. There's no, not everyone is the same. And real quick, shameless plug, but I got to plug this man because besides it being my father, I think he says this quote to me that's amazing, and I try to apply it to every type of encounter, and that is, before any disease, there is a person. Just let that sit for a second, y'all. Before any disease, regardless of the disease, there's a person. And that statement is just saying, you know what? Regardless of what you're dealing with, we shouldn't treat you any differently because of disease. We got to just take who you are, your personality, your cards that you were dealt, and treat you the same, and just kind of just have a kind of like an open arm and say, how can we help? So if he feels like this is the best way to help him, I'm just going to salute and respect his decision to come out publicly the way he did. But I think it would be a disservice if anyone puts like a negative spin on it. You can talk about it, because I think there was a few players that were just out there like talking shit, like Paul George. He came out recently and he said he's been dealing with anxiety, depression, being in the bubble and everything like that. And I forget who it was, but there was a former player that was like, man, you got to shut up. You can't talk about that. You can't put your feelings out there.
Right.
And it just makes me say, okay, we're not putting our feelings. Why? Is it for additional advantage? I don't know. But this is a tough one for me. I've had family members with mental issues. My aunt, who's no longer here, was schizophrenic. I know she battled a hard fight, just couldn't battle the demon. So I can only imagine what's going on in his mind. Like you said, Tyler, dude's got a lot on his plate, man.
Yeah.
There's a lot on his plate.
I was thinking about that too, like him publicizing it might be like a way for him to maybe like try to get the help that he needs. And maybe he's at a point where there's nothing else that he can do, and that's probably why he did do it. But being a professional athlete, and this is like the Skip Bayless in me. Like that comes with a lot of responsibilities. Like, never mind being the quarterback of the Dallas Cowboys, but just being a professional athlete, like, there's no excuses. Like for me personally, like being a student athlete and stuff like that, like there was never anything that I would use or I wouldn't be like, oh, my mother's sick or I'm not feeling well or my brains, I'm just not in it. Like there's nothing that I would say or could say or use as an excuse to not perform, the best way that I can. So I think that that's like a really big thing in sports, especially like I said, like being professional and being part of a team that is expected to actually get to Super Bowls and actually win some. Um, it's an immense pressure. At the same time, too, which sucks, is some people use it as a crutch. Some people use it as an excuse as to why they didn't do it, and it makes me. And I'm not saying that Paul George did it. It's like Dak didn't do it in a slump. He's performing. He's doing his thing.
That's a
You know
good
what I
point, man.
mean?
That's a great point.
And Paul George said it in a time where he was trash. Like he was, like it was horrible. He was horrible, and he used that. Not that he used it, but that had came out and stuff. And like I said, like the skip in me is like, fuck that. Like you're not getting off that easy, brother. You know what I mean? Like you're not gonna use this as some excuse, because then it's like, is this real? Is it genuine? Are you just
Are
going
you
along
covering
with?
your ass?
Yeah, like
Yeah.
it's hard to believe, and that's why I think like with Dak, like it just seems more genuine. He is pretty much like a straight up guy, at least from from the outside looking in. Is he? I was listening to a podcast a little while ago, but they were saying like Dak Prescott is the epitome of what you want as a quarterback. Like he's never going to say anything bad about your team. He's never going to dog people out. He's not going to do that. He's going to he's going to internalize everything and deal with everything else
Right.
at another time. But this is very like anti-Dak that we know. It's like, whoa, shit. He just put that out there. Like that's definitely not something that we would have thought he would have did. But like I said, like I have different views on it. I don't have like one straight, this is right or this is wrong, because there's a lot of things that are just all over the place, and that's why I think definitely mental health should definitely be. There should be a lot more light shined upon it, and it shouldn't be so negative. But I think it's trending. You know what I mean? It's starting to be more. Starting to become a little more important within sports, because like with the CTE stuff and all, like this, we can go on for a long time about this.
Do you think timing has a lot to do with how people perceive it? Because I remember 3 weeks ago we fucking slaughtered, or at least I slaughtered fucking Tuukka Rask for leaving because of his daughter, and saying that he had to deal with some shit, which is, I think that would fall into the mental health category, even though it didn't have to do with him. It had to do with his family and shit like that. You said Paul George came out when he was in a slump, so he kind of got slaughtered for it. But because Dak came out while he was performing, do you think maybe people are going to see it a little bit lighter? Because I know I just read an article last night about a junior hockey team, a player. He's now a retired. He played his professional career. He's in his 30s, but he just came out about hazing that happened on his junior hockey team when he was 17. And to me, I'm like, why are you bringing that up now? Like, what's the point of, like, what are you getting out of bringing it up now, other than getting it off your chest? Like, and again, I talk about, I'm very open about things that I deal with. So I encourage that stuff, but it's like, to me, the timing of, like, I talk about it as I deal with it. Like, I'm not talking about trauma or whatever's happened to me 15 years ago.
Right.
I talk about things as they happen. And it's kind of like, how much does the timing of the comments factor into people's perception of it?
Isn't it suck, though, that people want to kind of just voice their opinion or their feelings, and yet, again, I just don't want to be a hypocrite. We'll come out and we'll kind of belittle or second guess people. I agree with you, timing wise. Right. It's just a talking point that I think sometimes people just don't care about perception. I think sometimes people just are fed up and they're like, all right, I'm about to explode. I just got to let it out, type of thing. Some people a little more, some people might even say he's being very, and I don't know if you guys heard this, that this was a calculated move on Dak's part. Because I don't know that he signed
right
yet.
Right. No, he hasn't.
And that would be a real ugly PR move.
Yeah.
If you're the Dallas Cowboys and you're not just throwing a couple dollars and y'all making billions over there.
And that's the problem. That's part of the problem is like, you know, how Jake, like, is timing something that should be taken like it's, and that's why that's why it's hard, because what do you know is genuine? You know, everybody's starting to use excuse me, everybody's starting to use things just to take advantage of something.
Right.
Instead of it just being like a real thing. And it sucks because there's people out there that actually need services and stuff like that. And things get taken away because people abuse stuff. And then this, like, the mental health hasn't been taken, you know, serious since I've even thought of mental health stuff, you know, kind of like until now. But it's like now these athletes and stuff are trying, like I said, like, and it could just me just being ridiculous, but as far as I know, this is the first time that an athlete has came out saying that they were depressed and stuff like that and haven't, like, been in a slump. It's usually like, oh, you know, I'm dealing with things, you know, and their game is bad. And that could be true, but I just don't want to see it start to be a trend. And I'm, you know, Jay brought up a good point. Cliff, you did too. Like, we don't know if Dak even signed the contract yet. And it could be something that he's using as leverage. Like, you know, I'm dealing with the contract. I don't even know what's going on. It's crazy.
The one thing about Dak, though, I didn't hear Dak's actual comments, but the way Skip and Shannon both presented it was, he presented it as something that he dealt with and he's not currently dealing with. He said he was depressed. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you're right. That's true. That's true. That's true.
So,
that's
true. You know what I mean? Cliff, can't hear you.
I think a lot of the things that people go through, can't dismiss. Fortunately, we all know we can be very manipulative, especially when it comes to feelings and emotions. But at the same time, too, like, I'm a former athlete, right? And I love speaking to people that be like, man, he should have made that catch. And I'm like, do you know that there's another athlete on the field? Do you know that he couldn't make the catch because he got hit? Or do you know that they threw the ball away intentionally? Sometimes people, especially fanatics that are not familiar with said sport, are thinking real silly things. And I'm just like, you just have no idea. I get it. You was ill in gym. This is not gym class. These are athletes. Like, you know, they go all out for years. And if, like for example, like, they're going to beat their heads up. Like, we have this fight coming up here this week. Jay, I know you're a UFC guy.
I am.
19-0, 13-0. Guess what? Someone has to lose. There's going to be someone say, oh, he should have, they should have, blah, blah, blah. Being that this is your world, Jay, I'm going to ask you, bro, what do you think about these two coming out?
That's gonna be a very good fight. From what everybody says, it's gonna be fight of the year. However, being that I am a UFC guy and I've been watching UFC for probably close to 10 years now, I know that the fights of the years tend to be trash and very disappointing. I don't think that will be the case. I think Paulo Costa, from what I've seen from him, I think he's going to bring the pressure, and Israel is going to have to fight unlike he had to. So if people that don't know, Israel's last fight was against Yoel Romero, and for whatever reason, Yoel Romero literally just came out and did this.
And the whole fight.
And waited for Israel to try to engage. But Israel's the champion, so he's like, I'm not engaging you. I don't have to beat you. You have to beat me. I don't think he's going to get that chance with Paulo Costa. I think Paulo Costa is going to bring it to him. But it could go either way because Israel's very slippery. Israel is the modern day Anderson Silva.
He's
got that head movement. He's got that movement, and he does have a little bit of power. Like, he's put some people out.
Right.
I don't know if I can predict it. I haven't seen Costa fight as much. I think it could go either way. I'm gonna say Israel is a smarter fighter, I think.
Oh,
so
definitely.
I'm gonna say Israel. I'm gonna say Israel. But if Paulo connects flush, Israel can go 3.
I have a better question. Is it going to be worth what they're asking for?
I think so. I think because you got
the card is good. The card,
Reyes you have the light heavyweight championship that John Jones just vacated. That dude Reyes, a lot of people think he beat John Jones.
He beat John Jones. Who
won though? Let's talk about it.
He beat John Jones. That's my personal opinion.
John Jones got the decision, but Dominic, a lot of people think Reyes won.
He worked him.
The fact that he can stand in there with John Jones, who is looked at as the greatest UFC fighter, one of the greatest UFC fighters ever.
Really? Even over who was it? Tito?
Tito was garbage. Chuck Liddell was better than Tito.
Yeah, he wasn't that.
Tito was garbage. But this dude Blachowicz has power. Or Blachowicz. Sorry, I butchered his name. Blachowicz. He has power, but I don't think he's fast enough to touch Reyes. I think Reyes is going to be able to slip away and win that fight.
How much is the card?
Go Reyes and Adesanya.
How much is the card?
So I don't know. So I have a connect. Scuba Steve actually hooks me up with a way to view the fights for free. I don't know how there's
Steve.
UFC has a partnership with ESPN now, so you have to have ESPN Plus and buy the pay-per-view.
Wow.
So yeah, it's weird. I don't know how that works.
I'll talk to Jeff because there's this nice little thing called Beast TV. I think you pay like $70 for the year or 6 months or something, and you get everything.
Oh, yeah.
I tried it. Yeah, it's pretty cool. The only thing I don't like about it, let's say there's something you start to watch and it's halfway through a movie, you can't rewind. Everything is live. Everything is live. But for things like this, it makes sense.
Right.
You pay this thing one time and you're done. Where you're gonna pay. I like UFC fights. My problem is, again, I'm cheap with this. It's like, damn, the fight's over. I just went to the bathroom.
That's true.
I mean, so I took a break from UFC for quite a while because I felt like they were oversaturating it. They were doing fights. They're still doing fights every weekend.
Yeah.
But once there was no sports and UFC was the first thing to come back, I got back into it. And there is there's a lot of competition in pretty much every weight class now. The girls is still there's a top 2 or 3 and then there's a big gap. But for all the male weight classes, there's 5, 6, 7, 8 contenders. So it's actually interesting to watch. I have been watching it pretty much almost every weekend.
Can't wait for Covington to get his face beaten.
Yeah, that guy's a fucking piece of shit.
He's a piece of shit.
Damn.
Fuck that guy.
Well, y'all talking about face beating. Are you talking about something like this?
Oh, man.
Kyle, you're gonna have to talk to me. What's going on here, man?
So, yeah, that was so that's a tough picture.
Yeah, I'm gonna leave it up here so people can soak it in.
Yeah, so this was in 2005, I believe.
I think the incident happened in 2002. I think he got sentenced in 2005.
Oh, okay.
Or I could be wrong, but it was early 2000s.
Right. Yeah, that was rough. That's Esteban Carpio. Steven Carpio. I think that was his name. I think his nickname was Esteban or something. But yeah, he got charged with murdering a cop. I had heard other bits and pieces about it. I thought he had murdered a woman and then murdered the cop, but it wasn't that. I think he knocked a lady over or something like that, and I'm not too sure about the particulars, but he suffered from mental illness.
He was schizophrenic, apparently.
Yes, he so he was in the room. He's in a room with no cameras, no audio, with the officer. I just don't understand. I don't know what happened. There's no real information. There's nothing on the case to really tell what happened outside of the fact that he suffers from the mental illness, schizophrenia, or it could be something else, but I'm not sure. the fact is he killed the officer. That's the only thing that we know. How and why and all that stuff, nobody really knows that. So now they're looking for a reduced sentence. Not even really a reduced sentence, but just the opportunity for him to be given the chance of parole. So right now there's like a petition out. Me looking from the outside in, I think that he should have the chance to. Like I said, there's a lot of facts that aren't there with the case, and it's tough because you're putting somebody that suffers from a mental illness, something as serious as that, into a room, no cameras, no nothing. He's being pressured by a cop. Maybe, like I said, I don't know that, but he's in a situation where, from my past experience, I've dealt with people with kids and adults that, when put in a certain situation, that suffer from certain mental illnesses, like, they feel like their life is in danger. And that could have been the case with Caprio, but I don't really know. But the grand scheme of things, they're doing a petition right now. It looks like they're gonna get it. I think they needed like 75,000 signatures or something like that. They're at like 50,000 right now in 6 days or something. So I believe they're gonna get it. I think that he should get it. As long as there's like some type of stipulation, but
yeah,
that's a tough one.
What's your thought on it, RG?
So I actually listened to that incident happen on my police scanner when it happened. I didn't know what
shit.
I didn't know what was going on. It sounded like fucking absolute chaos. It looks like it was absolute chaos. But from my understanding of the case, my understanding is that he did kill like a 70-year-old woman or something like that. He was in the police station being interrogated in a room where, like Tyler said, with no audio, no video, and the door was locked. From what somebody else told me, that cop had killed people before, or killed at least one person before.
Shocker.
And right. Caprio stated that the cop said he would kill him. He's like I said, he sounds like he suffered from schizophrenia. In a room with that situation, he ends up getting the cop's gun, shoots the cop, jumps out the second floor window, tries to escape, gets caught, shows up in court the next day or a couple days later looking like that. Right. I mean, obviously, I think we can all come to the conclusion as to what happened to him. Right. Make it like that. But again, listen, not for nothing, and I know police brutality is a big thing, and I am against police brutality, but sometimes I'm okay with it. You just like, if somebody kills Tyler or Cliff, and I have a chance to get a hold of them, that's the least of my worries. Right. So he gets convicted. He gets I don't know if it's just a life sentence or a double, but he has life without parole. Yeah. My issue with the petition is they're asking for parole, which means, in my eyes, he could potentially be let out back on the streets. Now, he killed 2 people. No matter what, so he killed 2 people. No matter
How old was he?
What did you say?
How old was he?
I'm not sure. He's like 40 something now, right?
I think he's in his 20s, like mid 20s.
Maybe? 22, I think, at the time or something. I'm not even sure. Yeah, something like that.
He killed 2 people. You know what I mean? Yeah, he got fucked up or whatever. I don't really see him. I don't see a good reason for the petition is stating, because he was mentally ill, he never was he didn't get the opportunity to get treated for it. Mm-hmm. And that's what caused him to do this. Maybe that's the case. And I do not think that mentally ill people should be in prison. If the petition said he should be transferred to a mental facility, I'd be all for it. But being that, to me, it sounds like they want to get him out and just have him be out, I can't really agree with that. You know what I mean? Like, because and they're like, oh, he doesn't belong in prison. But in the 15 years that he's been in prison, he hasn't killed anybody to my knowledge. He hasn't been killed. You know what I mean? But I don't think he should be back out on the streets after killing 2 people.
Yeah, I don't know. I think that's pretty tough, right? Where I've always said this, and I've said this in other podcasts, that I don't think I think science says this, the adult brain is not being done completely matured until like your mid 20s, like 25, 26.
30 now.
30 now. Okay. I know a lot of times, and I'll use myself as an example, that I've allowed emotions to make bad decisions on my behalf, and I've never killed anyone. But regardless, I think I've made some bad decisions looking in retrospect, and I'm like, damn, I wish I didn't, I didn't make this bad, quote unquote decision.
I'm back.
The people didn't know, but it's okay. Oh. Tyler's gone for a little bit. He had to go put pants on. But I don't know. Like, should he be placed back into society? I struggle with that thought, because I'm really saying, like, damn, what if he just didn't have a good upbringing? Household was fucked up. He's, again, the brain, excuse me, his brain didn't fully mature. But then I have to ask myself, did he have the opportunity for the brain to really fully mature while you were in jail? Because then there were survival skills that he had to obtain while in jail. You know what I mean?
Well, sorry to cut you off, but at this point, you have to add another layer. He's now been in jail for 15 years.
Right.
You know what I mean? How much has changed in the last 15 years? Can you even function in society?
Right.
You know what I mean? He couldn't before. You know what I mean? He killed people before being locked in a box for 15 years. So I watched a lot of prison documentaries, and there's a quote that I'll always remember from one of the prisoners in one of the prison documentaries. And a prisoner said, if you serve more than 10 years in prison, you should never be let out ever again. And like, I really think about the jail atmosphere, and that might be accurate. You know what I mean? Because that's a whole other world. You know what I mean? And we see it. Like, and I get we want people to be able to have a second opportunity, and we want people to be able to get treatment and to change. You know what I mean? But can you and the justice system's terrible too. So like the whole process when people do get out of jail, it works against them. You know what I mean? So it's kind of tough. Like, I think maybe if we had a better process when people get released to actually help them instead of work against them to get them back locked up.
Yep.
Maybe my view would change, but as it stands right now, I don't see it working. I don't see it going good. You know what I mean? But I'll let you continue. I'm sorry for cutting you off.
No cut off. You kind of piggybacked off of what I was saying, is that the fact that they're in there for that long and they had to have this set of survival skills doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to translate to being in this new world where, let's just say, for example, I know someone that's been locked up for a few years, and I'm trying to create a program called the loyalty program, where I think there should be some sort of counseling, not just for him on the inside, but for the families on the outside that's been kind of holding him down. A lot of people, when they're released, they just assume like shit's just going to it'll be rough, but they're going to handle it. But are you going to be able to handle it? Is your family that's been dealing without you for quite a while, now that you're now in it, their routine is all messed up? I think there needs to be a connection with a counselor to make the two jive, and that's just the prisoner and their families, especially wherever they're going to reside for work. For me, and I'm just kind of thinking on the fly, I think if you murder someone, you serve whatever they say, and you parole where you didn't have any problems. Probably in the beginning, the first 2 years, you probably had some problems because you're dealing with being in jail, but that there wasn't any problem. I think there should be some sort of like a bracelet on you. And the bracelet's like, listen, homie, you're out, you're free, but you're locked down with this bracelet. The bracelet obviously would work, and I'm just kind of winging it right now. Maybe you don't necessarily have like a curfew, but we can track you. If you do anything illegal, we can use it against you. don't be around people that do illegal things. You know what I'm saying? And I think that would then deter them from going down a bad path. Now you're going to have advocates say, "Oh, it's not, he's already served his, his time. He should be given this, this, and that." But killing two people is a little egregious, obviously. Um, I don't really think one can come back from that. But again, who am I to say that? People make mistakes. Maybe he was fearful for his life. Maybe he is schizophrenic and needs appropriate medication and supervision so he can live a as healthy life as possible. That's just where I stand with that, man. I don't know that there's a correct answer per se.
What I think should happen is because so let's say Esteban Carpio, he's been locked up for 15 years.
Mhm.
His only social circle is prisoners at this point and family. But we don't know how his family is. We don't know. I mean, I'm not saying they're bad people, but I don't know if they're good people either. I don't know anything about it. Hopefully, they're not good people. Now you're only associated with, you know what I mean, prisoners and bad people. I think what needs to happen is there needs to be some sort of a program or network that allows prisoners to interact with positive influences, mentors, just like a different, just to associate people with good intentions, leading up to their release, and then maybe they can build relationships, and then that can hopefully set them up for success when they get out. Like, prison's a terrible fucking place. I wish, we didn't have to do it. Like, we didn't have to put people there, especially for extended periods of time. But it's kind of tough when you take somebody's life, and you got to look at the victim's family. Like, you took somebody I love away from me, and now I don't get to see them ever again, but now you get to walk and live a free life. Like, that's a tough situation. That's a tough sell.
Yeah. I don't know. Tyler, can you hear the kid now? Can you hear him? I can hear Jay. Tyler's saying he couldn't hear you.
Tyler looks frozen to me at this point.
Oh, really? I got no way. He's happy ass pants on stuff now.
No,
you can hear me.
He's definitely frozen.
I see him smiling. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna kick Tyler. He can come back. Come back, Tyler. Come back. But yeah, I don't know, bro. I just pray to God, and I was talking to my brother about this a year ago, and he was like, "Oh, what if it's someone that we knew and they killed someone?" I'm like, "I'm sorry, unfortunately, you made a very, very bad decision, in killing someone." And for all set and purposes, he probably, let's say he was trying to save himself, because this police officer said that. You have to take that into account and obviously do a little history and see if there is some facts behind that. But I really think you got to really guard the public. By guarding the public, once you do that, hold on, Tyler's trying to come back in. When you guard the public, I think you'll be able to allow some individuals to come home, because you can't separate people for the rest of their lives. You know what I mean? Imagine that, like, it's your son, and you're not going to be able to see them before you pass, or they didn't have an opportunity nobody wants to see their kid behind the wall forever. People should be given an opportunity to amend and serve their time, and then it should be done. But I think, depending on how egregious the act is, that we as a society need to protect ourselves. And if it needs to be like an ankle monitor, like for 10, 15 years, to make sure like you're on the up and up, you know what I mean? I think if you hold it down for that length of time, and you're in my book anyway, if I was a judge, I think that's something that I would say, yeah, I'm okay with that, as long as the technology is there. So as long as if you snip it out, boom, we get an alarm. We put kind of like this alert, like, former murderer out, cut his bracelet, find him, type of thing. Or maybe
like a registry type of thing?
like a chip. You can put a chip inside of him.
I would say you have people cut bracelets all the time. You know
what I mean?
I know
that.
People refuse to report to things all the time, and then what happens? They can go out and kill somebody. I think a chip, there's no way. Actually, I don't want to say there's no way, because I could definitely see it happening in the future. But you're not gonna get approval to put something, a foreign object, into somebody's body without
Well,
their consent.
I think that would be part of the the parole thing. You know what I mean? Like, okay, we're gonna let you do X, Y, and Z, but a chip has to be inserted. This, that. You could say no.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You could say no, but if this is what it is, if we're gonna give you something, you have to give us something.
Yep, I like that.
know?
Yeah, I'm cool with that. You want to say no? That's cool. Stick around. You know what I mean? You can stay at home. I don't know. But here's another fight that I forgot to mention that's going on. Tyler, I don't know if I know you and Jay are close, but maybe you're not that close. But there's a fight going on.
Oh,
I don't know what's going on right now. Jay had to come out with the pimp hat. You know what I'm saying? Fresh cut. Cat's in the cut looking like, I'm going to cut your face. Jay, talk about this, man. What's going on now, bro?
So last week I talked about my living situation. I talked about my girl and her sister. I didn't mention the cat. The cat has me feeling real uncomfortable in my own home right now. Like I got to watch my back in my own fucking home because of the cat. So it's my girlfriend's cat. She moved in with us in April. Yeah. And we were cool. Like, you know what I mean? Like she could be a moody little bitch sometimes and like, yo, don't fucking touch me. I don't give a fuck. And she'll, you know what I mean? She'll swat at you, whatever. And yeah, the cat, not my girl.
Clarify that.
Yes.
And be like, don't fucking touch me or whatever. But like most of the time, if you like let her sniff you, she'll be like, all right, pet me. You know what I mean? And we were cool. Then all of a sudden, last week, I'm on the phone with Tyler as it happens. My house is a little disheveled right now because we got work going on and everything.
Life is happening. Gotcha.
I'm in my extra bedroom. I have my a lot of sneakers that I don't really wear in a big trash bag. So I'm in there and I'm looking through the trash bag, and all of a sudden I hear the cat hiss. So I stand up, and this bitch jumps up my fucking leg and claws the fuck out of me.
What?
And I'm like, what the fuck? I'm like, I didn't do anything. So I kind of just back up, and I'm like, what the fuck? I call my girl, I'm like, yo, get your cat, because I don't want to have to fucking kill it. You know what I mean? So I leave. The next day, I come downstairs to grab something out of my freezer, and the cat follows me. So we pass each other as I'm going back towards the stairs. I'm like, yeah, fuck you, bitch. This bitch turns around and lunges at me again as I'm going up the stairs. So now I try to fucking fuck her up, but she gets away, whatever. So then I come home. She's in my closet. She hisses at me. I'm like, what the fuck? I kind of just leave her alone. Same thing the next day. Come home, she's in my closet. She hisses at me. I'm like, yo, what is this bitch's problem? Because, like, we've had our little differences in the past, but usually it goes away and, like, we're cool again. I'm going on, like, 2 weeks now that to the point where I come out of my bedroom, I have to look to see where she is. When I find her, I then, like, once I pass her, I have to walk backwards because if I don't, she'll run up on me and try to fucking claw the fuck out of me.
Yo,
she goes under my bed. She attacks my feet, like as I'm trying to get to the bed. Like we have serious murder beef. Like, and I'm trying to squash it. I'm a change. I'm trying to squash it. I'm trying to go to the cat and like, yo, sniff me, and she don't even want to attempt to sniff me. She's like, get the fuck away from me, or I fuck you up. I'm like, all right, you got that, and I leave. Yo, I don't know. People, viewers, what do I do? What do I do? How do I amend this relationship? I need to be able to live comfortably in my own home.
I don't know what to say about that, except, dear Peter, the other folks that are part of this podcast, we ain't got nothing to do with that. We don't want that. Dear Peter, we're okay. What's your girl saying about this?
She sides because she sees it. She's like, yo, you're not doing anything to fuck with the cat. You know what I mean? Actually, you know where it started? I can tell you. We were, I think she might think I'm a ghost at this point.
What?
We were hanging up blinds in the living room.
Yep.
And she was out on the and she was in the window. And I was kind of fucking with her. I'm not going to lie. I was fucking with her. I was like hitting the glass and shit. She's attacking the fucking screen or whatever. So then I go to the doorway and I kind of just peek my head out. Yo, that cat came at me so fucking fast. and tried to like lunge for my face, and I was like, yo, like chill. That was the I think that was the actual starting point. But I'm like we're cool now. Like I'm just fucking with you. But
I don't know, man.
You done did too much, man.
I have a question.
What's up?
So, as we all know, your girl is black.
Yes.
You, the last time I checked, are Caucasian.
I think so.
Check. Is the cat racist?
Pretty white.
Is your cat or her cat racist?
She's like, I've dealt with you long enough.
We were cool though. Like she would come lay with me sometimes. Like I'd pet her. Like you know what I mean. Like we were. She
gave you a try.
Not only that. So we just got her fixed last month. Before she was fixed, that bitch wanted me. Like she could smell the testosterone on me. She would like raise her fucking pussy against the floor and like be like.
I know what's going on. Okay,
what's going on?
Listen. Before you guys neutered her, she was cool. Like I could share. I don't mind. I don't mind. And then you did what you did. It's on. We're not watching UFC this weekend. I'm watching right now, man. Tyler, what are you gonna do about this, bro?
What?
I don't know, man. I don't know. I gave him some tips, but it's really not PETA approved.
Oh no. See, we don't need to talk about it.
No. It's not gonna. It's not. I mean, it's not bad. You know what I mean? It's nothing bad. I just told him you got to train it. You know what I mean? You got to let him know. Well, let her know, like who's the boss.
How?
I don't know.
Good answer. Good answer.
Listen, I have my ways.
You keep
God has his ways, and we're gonna get through this. I'm gonna help him though. Help him.
I want to be able to walk. I want to be able to walk peacefully, like maybe pet the cat every so. Like I would literally come home at night from work, and like the first thing I would do is pet the cat. Like, yo, what's up?
Nice.
You missed a few days.
I don't know. Maybe I don't know. Shit's crazy though. Like it's bad. It's fucking bad.
Should have left her how she was, man. So now we got to
give it too much attention, and now it's not there anymore.
It was a force, bro. That shit had to get done. She would spray. She fucking I'd be playing video games. She would like come up on the top of the chair and like try to rub her ass on my head and shit. Like, oh nah.
We went from
level,
everything was all good. She hit you on the DM like, hey, when your girl goes to sleep, I got you on your legs, whatever you need. So, and then you did what you have to. Now she wants the traditional, old school, shameless plug, Clifford B Photography. For those that are getting married, please feel free to contact me. I am a photographer at times. She wants this right now, man.
Yes.
She wants a monogamous relationship.
I don't think she wants that at all. I don't think she wants anything to do with me.
Not anymore.
Yeah, she's pretty upset, man.
She's no longer a WAP. Red ass pussy cat. No more. So
I need help, though. I really need help from the viewers. I need to know because I'm not a cat person. This is the first cat I've ever owned. Well, I don't even own it, but it lives with me. It's the first cat I've ever had in my life. I don't really like cats like that, but I was like, it's my girl's cat. I kind of have to like it because I'm not gonna get rid of it. Now, like, we got a family of outdoor cats that live in the neighborhood. She about to be joining them if she don't get.
There you go.
You don't want to do that though, because if you put her out there, them motherfuckers might show up at your doorstep. Like, I got this dude over here. I know he's been cool with you guys for a while, but listen, let me tell you. And then they
Tyler said, "Gang,
they might be waiting for you."
Gang. The hood is coming out.
I want to let her sleep in my room because I'm like, yo, she's gonna fucking.
Nah, don't let her sleep in your room. Don't let her sleep in your room. You should lock the door. You should actually close the doors.
Yeah, but she'll like sit there and she'll pound on the door like the cops.
You got real problems over there, bro.
Huh?
Yo.
Wow.
Yo, it's real.
I told him, I said the next thing she's gonna do is swipe that mask off. It's gonna be one of those bad nights.
Oh my
She's gonna
God.
be like, whap. Fucking stop that shit.
Boy, I'm gonna say this. I don't want to put no visuals. I don't put no visuals. But we was talking about before the different type of eaters. We'll say cat eaters.
Right.
We're talking about pussy. So, right? You don't want to be that. You don't want to be doing your thing with your girl, and you don't want to be. I know not sniper mode. Let's say it's not sniper mode, like and you're just up in the air, and she sees you. Like, you know what? If those balls ain't mine, they ain't hers.
Hey, listen, I'm always sniper mode. The non-sniper mode, that's a Haitian thing.
Yo.
I'm just saying, then at least you'll say, close the doors, man. Just close the doors. Trust me. Just close the doors. I know it's your house, but close the doors. We don't
That's
want
rough.
But let me ask you a question, because we had some great conversation. I saw happening on it was on YouTube, Facebook. People are hitting us up. They're talking about these things, about different type of relationships. You know what I mean? We have some open relationships. You know what I mean? We got straight up monogamy relationship where there's nothing brought into the place. But like, I saw some great topics where I think some of those people, we should invite them for the next podcast or future podcast to bring it in. But my question is there such a thing as a man whore?
I mean, if people are gonna call women whores, I would say there has to be a man whore. Like, you know what I mean? A whore's a whore. Like, if you fuck, like.
What's the definition of it? Let's start. What's the definition of a whore? What makes you a whore?
Legal definition or like our definition? Like our definition.
Let's bring them all out.
I would say like people, a whore to people is just people that are, you know what I mean? They sleep with multiple people. Like, you know what I mean?
What's the ratio? Do you have a ratio per year, per month, per quarter? Like, what's the ratio?
I don't know, bro. What do you got, Tyler? What do you got for a ratio?
I don't listen. I don't. I haven't heard that word in a really long time.
Which word?
Only because, like, whore. Like, yeah, nobody says that anymore. Nobody calls people hoes.
It's not the N word anymore.
No, it's not. I don't think there's really a fucking like stigma to it anymore. You know what I mean? Everybody's just fucking each other, and I mean, fuck it. Like, it's just become a little more acceptable. You know, women feel like if a man can fuck 10 people, then fuck it, I can fuck 10 people. You know what I'm saying? But I think it's more of a person, like, it's more people's perspective in what they value. You know what I'm saying? It's not, I don't think it's a, what is it, like a blanket statement? I don't think it's that anymore. I think it's more of what a person views it as. You know what I mean? Like, do they care or do they not care? You know, that's just what it is to me now. But before it was just like, oh, you did this, yeah, you're a whore, you're this, you're that, you're fucking, you know, whatever. But I can't put a definition or a ratio and all that shit on it.
I used to have a ratio.
You have a ratio?
I used to. I'm old school, bro.
Oh.
I remember this is before all y'all generation. Back in the day, girls did not just give it like.
Oh yeah. I mean,
so I was
still
just like,
believe
wait a
in
minute,
that.
you had sex with 2 people already?
Yeah.
And you're how old? You're 21? Whore. But then, you know, because started becoming slim pickings out here in these streets, I have to change my ratio. You know what I'm saying? Because all these bitches are sleeping with each other.
Right,
but then I was just like, I don't want to be a fucking hypocrite because I was a whore.
Right.
I enjoy being a whore.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You did it, Jay?
I have my little time in between relationships where I was having my phone. And I want to add a disclaimer. When I said the word whore, I didn't mean it in a derogatory way. It's just
I did.
That's what people call it. I have no problem. Listen, fuck who you want to fuck. Do whatever the fuck. I'm a free spirit when it comes to that shit.
Yeah. At this point, fuck it.
I don't give a fuck.
At this point, you know what I mean? Because especially now, like, I'm 32 years old. Like, I'm not about to be like, oh my god, you had sex with 4 people and you're 30, 130. Like, come on, what the fuck? If I'm being like, you gotta be realistic. You know what I mean? Like, fucking do what you gotta do. I think honestly, too, is like be Be discreet with your shit.
That's
You know
what
what I'm
it
saying?
is.
Why?
Be discreet with your shit.
Why?
Because, man.
Why? Nah, okay. I think he has a good point, man. Be discreet. You want to be able to say, damn, she's kind of wifey material, but she got on the gram that she's smashing again tonight.
Right.
Like, you don't want that.
You don't want
So
that.
wait,
You
so
don't want that.
But
Tell
do you
me
have
you
to
want
be,
that.
do you
Tell
have
me
to
you
be
wouldn't
discreet
care.
with your shit?
Huh?
Do you have to be discreet with your shit?
Do I have to?
As a man.
I am. I would be. I wouldn't be posting shit all over the place and doing all that. You know what I'm saying? Like, what do you mean? Like, what do you mean by discreet? Like,
there we go. Talk about it.
like, what do you mean? Like, because to me, it's just like, if you're gonna do something, just like, yeah, I dealt with that person. It doesn't. You might not even have slept with them. It's just like, yeah, I dealt with them. You know what I mean? I dealt with. You know what I mean? Like, that's it. I don't need to be like. I don't need to hear. Oh yeah, I was fucking them, and we was this and we was that, and da 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 da. Like, that's your fucking business. I don't need to know all that.
Here's my question: Are you gonna? So a guy and a girl say the same thing. Are you gonna judge them equally?
Am I gonna judge them equally?
Yeah.
What do you, like if they say that they were just doing their thing?
So like, say there's a guy that's boasting about all the bitches that. Sorry, I didn't mean to say bitches. All the women he's fucked, and you know what I mean. And he's just bragging, yeah, I smashed that, and then the girl's saying the same shit. Are you gonna look at them the same?
Me? No. I'm not.
Why?
Because that's my preference. That's what I would look. That's how I look at it.
Let me ask you a question.
You know how I look at it? I look at it way deeper than just that. Like if you want to think like naturally, you know what I'm saying? Like we're here to create. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like that's what we're here for. You know what I mean? And we like men would sleep with multiple different, you know what I mean? Different women and shit like that. It wasn't the other way around. But now it's like, fuck it. You know what I mean? Like I don't have the same perception as I used to. You know what I'm saying? Mainly because I'm older. If I was like 21, 22, 23 years old, it'd be way different. Like I'd be like, oh my God, I can't be with her now because she fucking dealt with 5 people and like I'd be fucking broken and shit. But I don't give a shit now.
But
you know what I mean?
But you still just said that you still said you would not,
because that's just people. That's not somebody that I'm dealing with. If it's somebody that I'm dealing with, it's different. I don't give a fuck about other. Like if she fucked 10 fucking people, then fuck it. Like you fuck 10 different people. Good for you.
Let's make it more personal because I'm the same.
Yeah, if it's personal, if like it's, I'm not gonna look at it the same as somebody I'm dealing with because that's mine. You know what I mean? Like that's supposed to be me and her. Like I'm not gonna be looking at it the same way as I'm looking at, somebody like, oh, she was fucking like 20 people. Oh,
could you have been Kanye? Could you have been Kanye? I always ask everyone that.
No, it's too public, man.
I'm not too
public.
Like
no, that's a question for Jay. You answer that shit. Can you be fucking Kanye? No, no, you couldn't. No, fuck that. No, you couldn't. You would not be okay.
Because it's like, on the internet.
Listen, man, I don't judge people on that shit. It is what it is.
No, it's you. Would you be? You're like. Yeah,
I know. What I'm saying is, I don't judge the woman. Like, yo, she did her thing. Fuck it. I don't give a fuck. Like,
I'm okay. Okay, so to me, I'm okay with everyone doing their thing. I think is people knowing. I think it's the knowing part. It's,
yes.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
yes.
I knew, and that was brought to my attention by a female friend. Was like, all right, Cliff, I know you move how you move, but you ain't discreet about your shit. I was like, I don't give a goddamn. She was like I would mess with you, but because of that, I'm like, you know what I'm saying? And then that's when I started to say, it's no longer, I don't need to be keeping score and let people know about it. You know what I'm saying? Us as guys, it's a machismo thing again.
Yeah.
And being that I'm an old Haitian man, you know what I mean? I have my ways and thoughts. I feel like, man, I want, it's my wife now, but I want the female to be experienced because you don't want to be dealing with someone that has no experience and you're just like, oh, great, because that's going to end bad.
Right.
And a comedian said this: you want a former whore ready to become a wife, and she sticks with you forever, type of thing. You want her to come with a bag of tricks coming into the room like, ooh, okay, never done that before. I'm trying to do something strange. You know what I'm saying? No change. Ain't no change. She's doing it for free because that's my girl. Right. But I think as a female, I think they're viewed differently. I think if you were to be like, yo, Jay, how many, I'm saying theoretically, to cover Jay, yo, how many chicks did you smash last year? Yeah, probably like 5, 6. You know what I'm saying? Is that going to be viewed the same way for a female? I think that's why I'm putting slut shaming. I think that's a thing. I think it's a real thing. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to put this little caption up here and I'll read it. So the first one says, yes, totally got laid last night, dude. She's such a slut. Awesome, bro. That's the top. She says no. Man, she said no. She's totally friend zoned me. Bitch strung you out along, man. Like, that's real conversation that tends to happen. Maybe not with the beach voice like I just did. I don't know why I did the beach voice, but that's kind of like what I felt just for the second. But I think that really happens. And I think that part should change because I'm a free person too. Like if let's say you go on vacation and you're vibing and you're a male, you're a female and shit happens, you know what I'm saying? And you happen to, obviously you're single, and you happen to smash one person, and let's say you're on a boat cruise, and then you're done with that person for the night. You have another night, and then you smash someone else. I could care less. I feel as long as you're discreet about it, you know what I'm saying? And you're selective too, that you ain't just fucking every Tom, Dick, and Harry, right?
Right. You gotta have some type of standard.
I agree.
Cliff, I want to get your perspective on a question that me and Tyler have been talking about at work with our coworkers.
Talk to me.
So, you cheat on your woman. Mm-hmm. She decides, you get caught. She stays with you.
Yep.
Now she cheats on you.
Yep.
What's your course of action?
I'm a hypocrite. Just put that out there. Sometimes I'm a hypocrite. Listen, bro. Again, everyone's maturity level is different. Mm-hmm. I would like to think that I would just be able to look past it, but I'm very immature at my age. Even still at this time, I would want to know details. I'm talking about where, when, times, and then obviously the typical. I know, look at your face. I know, but that's just me. I'm psycho. You know,
that is next level.
I am. I'm kind of weird. I'm a Scorpio, bro. What do you expect?
I feel like that's like, it's like, okay, you did it. Now I want every detail so I can have even more of a reason
to bounce
on you. Yes.
100%. Yeah. Maybe it is that. That is the filter in me. You're like, I want to know. Okay, then the childish part of me comes out like, was he better? You're just a whore. You know what I'm saying? But like that's just my honest opinion. But like let me ask you guys a question. Because it was brought up. There's someone, I think it was Instagram. She mentioned that she's been with her man for a few years. I think 6 or 7 years she mentioned. And they decided to kind of have like a threesome or whatever the case may be. Y'all didn't read that?
Yeah.
Y'all didn't read the comments? All right.
Yeah, right.
Oh, my question is, all right. I would love to have him on the podcast just to ask some questions. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't. Okay, let me first ask y'all before I say this. Have you guys you guys ever had a threesome before?
Yes.
Okay, I have. And it was nothing. It was 2 females. Just want to put the data out there, right? Because I would never. But I was like, yo, I'm going to do this and do that. I think when it was done, I felt used because it didn't go down. It went down. I participated with both partners, but it didn't really go down the way I thought it was going to go down. Because when I was completed, they kept going as if I was in there. I was like, well, fuck you too. I walked away. What'd you say?
Why is that a bad thing?
I'm selfish, Jay. You haven't like figured this out. I was like, I'm done. You're done. Oh, you made me feel a certain kind of way, you know? So my question is, I would like to ask him how he feels. Because she looks like she was like, and I'm reading text, like ready to go. Everything's Gucci, you know, cool. But I think it's everyone's preference, right? Like, how do you even bring that conversation to your significant other? Like, are you going to play our podcast and say, hey, babe, let's see what Jay was talking about today? Whoa.
So that's the thing is I think a lot of people are afraid that, like, so we talked about the different types of relationship dynamics. I think a lot of people are just afraid to have these conversations. So that's why, like, when I replied to that comment through the Instagram. There was an initial comment, and I said, you know, what happens when a couple's been together for a while and one wants to try something new, but the other one doesn't? Like, how should that be handled? And then we got the response, and that's where she mentioned that she knew a couple that had a threesome after whatever it was, like 8 years, I think it was, whatever. You just got to be able to have those conversations. Like, you got to be able to be upfront with your partner about what interests you and what you're interested in. And then, like, you know what I mean? If you guys aren't on the same page, like, if it's like they'll try some things but not others, like, you got to kind of compromise on that. Or if it's like you guys are like completely different levels, maybe that's not the relationship for you.
Yeah,
and I know that's hard. I know that's hard for people to say because, oh, I just put years into this. But, like, at the end of the day, if people aren't happy, they're going to cheat. And that's just what it comes down to. So it's like, I'd rather you be like, yo, we're just on different pages, and yeah, it kind of sucks. We got to kind of throw this away. But at least at the end of the day, you'll be able to respect me, and I'll be able to respect you. Whereas if you step out without, and we don't have that type of dynamic, you know what I mean? Then now I fucking hate you. Now I've really wasted my fucking time. At least if we break it off and we have the conversation, we're just like, yo, we're not on the same page. Like, you can at least get a relationship out of that, like a friendship or whatever the case may be, maybe. But now, if you just disrespect me, now it's like, fuck you. I gotta throw everything away. I gotta kick you out the house. Like, whereas if the other way, you can maybe put some planning into it and shit like that. But you have to be like, sex is definitely way more open than it was even 10 years ago.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Watch some shit together. You're like, oh, what do you think about this? Like, there's podcasts that talk about shit like this. But a lot of people are just afraid to even have the conversation.
Now, what do you think? What if your significant others was like, hey, I'm trying to bring another man into the room?
No, fuck.
See?
Fuck.
What about
nobody else slanging around me?
All right, here's the thing. But if I'm expecting her to bring females, but listen, if I'm expecting her to bring in females and she's not into females, that's something that you have to take into account.
But that's personally, like, me, I'm not a threesome person. You know what I mean? Like, that's not something that I would, you know what I mean? Like, but at the same time, like how you were saying about how you're talking about having the conversation, like, me personally, I'm a try it, and if you don't like it, stop type of, like, I'm not about to sit down and have a conversation and be like, yeah, so do you want to do this and do you want to do that? Like, I'm not doing that shit. Like, I'm not a very big sexual person like that. Like, in the moment, yes, that's when I'm more like, okay, because then my brain is going and shit. But, like, I personally can't I'm not going to sit down and do that. You know what I mean? And I think that's a lot of people, like, find that conversation to be a little, like, touchy. You know what I'm saying? Even though, like, when you're in the moment, like, I think we was talking about this before at work. Like sex is it's nasty naturally. You know what I mean? Like, you're putting one body part into another person. You know what I mean? Like that's nasty. But, like, nasty sex is the best sex. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, you know, you want to do things. There's a lot of I don't know of anybody that's like, yeah, missionary and I'm all set. I don't know anybody like that. You know what I mean? So, like, sex is fun. Sex is definitely enjoyable. There's different elements for different people, but, like, for me, like, I'm not gonna sit down and be like, okay, can we do this and can we do that? Like, I'm just gonna fucking do it. I'm just going for it. And if you don't like it, I have no problem with being rejected. You know what I mean? Oh, okay, you don't like that, or if I say something like, oh, let's try this or let's do this, and you just say no, or whatever the case is, that's when I'm gonna have it. Like, because maybe I'm kind of like manipulating, you know what I mean? Maybe you're just in a good mood and you say yes right now. And if we're just sitting down and having the conversation, you're like, fuck that, no way. You know what I mean?
Walk is kicking in.
Right. So like, but that's how I would do it. You know what I mean? That's how I take it. You know what I mean? I kind of just do things to see like where I can go, and if it doesn't happen, then it doesn't happen because everybody doesn't think the same. Everybody has different pleasures and shit. So
for me, I'm at the point where I won't shut down anything right off the like. No, I'll never do that. You know what I mean?
right.
I'll have the conversation and then see what happens from there. But like, I know the things that I want to do, and I know that if my partner isn't fully open to it, then we got to come to a compromise somewhere. I might have to do something that if I want her to do something that's a little uncomfortable, I got to be willing to do something that's a little uncomfortable.
Yeah, that's fair. That's definitely fair.
Do it, you know what I mean? And that's my approach at this point. Like, if I'm like, no, I would never do that, then I would never ask her to do something the equivalent of it. You know what I mean? That's where I go. That's my approach.
Well, me being a male chauvinist pig, I guess.
Would you suck a dick?
I don't see the equivalence of another penis versus another vagina.
I was just testing you. I was just.
Damn, using Biggie's line. You look so good, girl. I'll suck on your daddy. What?
I had to. Because I'm like, this night he would say no to.
Yeah. Jay's like, damn, I'm gonna ask you. A lot of editing on this one, Scuba Steve.
No, fuck it. Listen. We have these conversations at work all the time. Like, when I say some wild ass shit, you know what I mean? I've done some wild ass shit. I'm not gonna put all that I'm not gonna put all my business out there like that. But I've done some crazy ass shit. Like, Tyler thinks I'm fucking nuts. But I'm very open to shit. You know what I mean? And I'm not a hypocrite either. Like, you know what I mean? Like, if I cheated on a chick and I got caught and she stayed with me, I guess I gotta fucking eat her and go fuck somebody else.
Yeah. So now let me ask you. So let's say that situation did happen. Are you just waiting for it to happen for her to cheat on you?
Fuck.
What do you mean? Wait, what do you mean by
you got caught?
Like a revenge cheat?
She took you back, and you guys are still in a relationship. Is your mind going to constantly be like, like it might be happening today. It might be next month. I got to be extra nice.
So that probably wouldn't. So honestly, if I was in that situation, I would probably be like, go fuck somebody else. I would probably be like, yo, just go do it.
That's different.
Say go do it to press the reset. Basically, it presses the reset button and it makes it even.
Yeah. You can't do that
because other than that, you're going to be thinking the way that you were just saying.
That's why it's a wrap.
I wouldn't think about it all the time. I would just be like, fuck. I wouldn't even think of it. You know what I mean? Like, when it happens or whatever, and I'll deal with it at that time. But I'd be like, all right, word, like she took me back.
Right? But so take your approach, right? And say she doesn't do it right away. And then you guys get back onto where you think you should be. And you guys are good. And you guys are, everything's good. You think you're in the clear. And then bang, she does it. You're going to be upset. You're not going to be happy about it.
Of course.
You might understand it. But that's why I'm saying I'd rather just, boom, get it out the way. Let's reset. Let's talk about why we got to this point.
Yeah, but
let's figure out where we went wrong, and let's move on.
But you cheated. You cheated whenever you felt like you cheated. You cheated on your own time. Right. You can't just be like, yo, go and fuck somebody, and and then we talk. You know what I mean?
Point. That's a good perspective.
So,
oh shit.
That's tough.
Again, Jason.
It is tough.
All done.
It is tough. But life is hard, man. Shit.
I just feel like
world.
If you cross it, you just have to be prepared for it to happen whenever. You don't want to be going on this great vacation and she comes back hobbling home. Like, what's up? I finally handled that.
Yeah, that's fucked up. That would be fucked up.
We're leaving now.
My thing is, I laugh at the dudes that cheat on their girl and then get mad when they get cheated. Like, they're mad. Like, they're like, oh, this fucking bitch, that fucking hoe. Like, motherfucker, you wasn't saying that when you was putting your dick in something else.
I think you can say that.
It's hilarious to me.
I'm going to keep it too real, man. I guess I got to be the real guy here. Listen, yes, we can get mad, okay?
Get mad.
Like, what the fuck?
You can be mad and stay and be like, fuck, whatever.
No, but like, I'm saying you can be mad about it, like, but I'm saying, like, when the dude start bashing the chick, or the dude will leave the chick and then bash, oh, she's a fucking hoe. Fuck that bitch. But you wasn't a hoe when you was out doing your thing.
That's
like,
the ego.
I clown those dudes all the fucking time.
That's that hurt ego, man. My ego was hurt, dog. I was vulnerable. Like, how you gotta do me like that? You gotta be better than me,
bro. Toughen up.
You had to be better than me.
Okay, Skip.
Yes. Word. Oh boy. All right. So Jay, while you're just entertaining, and we're not going to use your present Jay, we'll use old Jay just so it doesn't offend your significant other now. Back in the day, let's just say you was with your girl, and she was like, "All right, listen, I need 2 woods." And you over there, so he's over there just smashing her off, and she's like, "Yo, get me some chicken," while I'm finishing my business.
Oh,
you're outside, you find some chicken, and then the guy screams out, "Hey, I like flats."
I'm bringing all drumsticks.
There's enough drumsticks in that room, okay?
Yo,
what's your favorite, man?
I'm a drumstick guy. I'm a very I don't know. I'm just a drumstick guy. Hold it one end and just fucking tear it apart, man.
Yeah.
I don't think the whole having to get it from in between the bones and all that shit. I just like to grab it, bite it, be done.
Give me the meat. Give me the meat.
Yeah.
What about you, Tyler?
Yeah, I'm a drumstick.
That last statement that I just said.
Yeah, that was.
And I never take pause, but I'm gonna say it on that one.
Hold on, what the hell?
I was trying to take big and.
Yeah, I'm a drum guy too. But flats are growing on me though. Flats are growing on me, but like Jay said, it's just easier. It's just easier to eat. I don't want to be doing all that in between the bone bullshit and all that, But yeah, flats are definitely growing though. It depends too on like. It depends on the chicken. Like if it's buffalo wings or if it's barbecue or something like that. You know what I mean? Like I like the flats barbecue. I don't know. I'm weird like that. You know what I mean? I'm very particular with shit like that. Barbecue flats way better than buffalo flats. But a buffalo like drum can't go wrong.
That's your go-to.
Yes.
I saw a meme the other day. It was a bear flat. All the meat was gone. It said, "This is how I learned how to eat pussy."
Yo, you know what's crazy? I was just thinking that shit in my head. Like I remember putting my tongue between the fucking, pushing the meat out and shit. Like I was gonna say it, but I'm like, nah, I'm not gonna say that. But
I guess this is why I don't like flat. It's too much work.
It is a lot of work. It is a lot of work too.
That's like crab versus lobsters. What are we talking about? Go over there. Nobody dealing with the lobster. Give me nobody dealing with the crab. Give me the lobster.
I was about to say, isn't lobster better than crab? Yeah. I don't eat seafood, but
I don't eat seafood.
More meat on the
lobster.
Yeah. But I really don't care. I think as long as it's well done. Worst thing you could do with the wing is go someplace because they're supposed to power broil it, then fry it, put it in the sauce, then fry it again, so it's sticky, not just that wet. You know what I mean?
Right.
Not just like they just dip the sauce, and I want the sauce like infused in it, like stuck.
Right.
Then I'll kill both. It doesn't matter because it's then at that time you could just.
Oh, I ain't discriminating, but if I can pick,
definitely not.
You know what I mean? I'll pick some drumsticks.
We do not discriminate here at a Different Perspective podcast. We like both chickens.
Yes.
And it looks like Jay likes a lot of drum. Your call. You guys, please let us know if you think Jay likes drums. He's wild.
Yo.
Oh, man. All right. So we're coming up to the hour. Well, we're past the hour, but anything you guys want to say? We got some shout outs.
We do have some shout outs. I'm going to shout out my boy, Mike Decay. He is my tattoo artist. He did my sleeve. He also did the Jason Voorhees portrait I have on my leg. He is the owner of Blackstone Tattoo Company in Pawtucket, Rhode Island. He has just announced recently that he's having a baby, and he just got engaged the other day. So congratulations to him.
Congrats.
My longtime friend. We grew up together. He's an amazing tattoo artist. He's Mike Decay at Mike Decay on Instagram. Go check him out. He's definitely worth his prices. He's won a shit ton of awards. Dude's just fucking amazing. So if you need some good tattoo work, I definitely recommend my boy Mike Decay.
Nice. How about you, Tyler? Any shout outs? Anyone out there?
Yeah, definitely. Since we was we was talking about mental health. I am going to shout out my homegirl Jamae. She is a therapist. She just opened up her own practice not too long ago. Definitely super proud of her. I've known her for a while. Went to high school together. Both, student athletes and things like that. But yeah, I've known her for a long time. Trying to definitely strive better. She's helped me through a lot of things, my own issues. But yep, she's doing her thing. Her Instagram, it's kind of it's losing me right now.
Fighting Chance CS.
Yes, there we go. Fighting Chances CS on Instagram. fightingchances.com. She's great. She's been doing this for a while now. But she's amazing. Shout out to Jamae Harrison.
She's the reason for this podcast, isn't she?
She is. She is. She is. So I'm not really big on like vocalizing my thoughts and stuff. I do like to my circle. But she was trying to get me on a Facebook Live for a long time. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, I'm not doing it. So I ended up, doing it, and it snowballed into this. So, she is kind of almost like the reason why we started doing this, almost kind of in a weird way. Yeah.
I like the backstory.
She's pretty important. She's pretty important.
She's the boss.
Yes.
Me, I'm going to shout out this guy. It's my brother, Exeter Mask Company. Really proud of the kid. My brother's sincere. If you guys are really trying to get like just different masks because COVID is real, for those that don't believe it, it's really out there. He has a bunch of just different stuff. We're working on his websites. One of my favorite ones is the mask, pun intended, because Jim Carrey's my guy and he's Canadian, so it's one of my favorite masks. And then second place is which is not here on his site because he just released it. Don't know if I was supposed to do that, but we got the Cam Newtons out there. So salute to my brother. It's just sincere. Hopefully I need you guys to go out there and follow him, Exeter Mask Company on Instagram.
I haven't seen Sin in a long time. I missed him.
I was looking at your stuff. Actually, I was going to put a photo of you with him, but then I figured, you know what, this is a better photo when we did this.
That is great.
So,
don't let her squat up, man. Don't let her squat up. Keep her in that house.
I agree with Tyler.
I really need the viewers to give me some advice as to how to handle this beef. I just want to squat it. I'm not a violent person anymore. I want to live peacefully. I'm trying to calm down. You know what I mean? I don't want to have to, take it there. So help me solve this issue.
Anybody doing any fun things, trips, or anything like that?
I am actually on my way to North Carolina this afternoon to go move my mother back up north.
Welcome home, Ma. Welcome home.
Welcome home.
How about you, Tyler?
Nope.
Me neither.
Nope. Not I. I'm trying to get a group to go down to Supercharge so I can whoop some ass in the go-karts.
Yo, call me. I'm down. Because
trying to get that going.
Kind of amazing with that. Let me know.
I got you. I got you.
I'm gonna say this: if you're gonna go minimum 3 race, I can.
Oh yeah. I did the 3. I was like, we got to do the 5.
Yeah, I was tired. Like, and I don't want to.
That's true too. I was tired. My arms were all tight.
Yeah, it's a workout. It's a workout. See, I'm looking at Jay.
It made me respect like NASCAR drivers and like professional, like the drivers, because I'm like, I couldn't do that shit for
500 times.
I couldn't do that. There's no way.
It's like, why is Cliff going into the pit? He was leading. I'm out of here. I'm stupid. I'm not doing this anymore.
Why are you looking at me, Cliff?
You didn't say nothing, so that means your skills is whack. You was real quiet. Huh?
I just haven't been to Supercharge yet.
But do you believe in little go-kart action?
Hell yeah. You see the way I drive?
That's a fact. That's a fact. And these actually
Yo, my boy Ray tried to come for me in the comments talking about
I seen that.
Under 85. It's 80, motherfucker, because that's what the keeper told me to keep it under. Yo. 80. Anything over 80, I'm risking it. So I try to keep it at 80 because the cops told me I could keep it at 80.
Tell him why you mad, son. Tell him why you mad.
As long as you don't blow through a fucking yield sign, you'll be all right.
You heard Tyler. You make sure.
I live a good life. Why is everybody trying to bring me down?
You got cats. You got people. Like 2020. Get out of this.
Maybe you're too happy.
Why shouldn't people? Everybody should be happy. I want everybody to be happy. I want the cat to be fucking happy. I want you guys to be happy. I want the viewers to be happy.
You should have been a fucking Teletubby.
Yo, I would pay for you to get a character like that. But you know what the problem is? 3 little words, man. Misery loves company.
Yes, that is very true.
Bring me down. I got myself to a really nice place. I'm really happy with my life. I don't let shit stress me out that much.
Mm-hmm.
Fucking live. I want everybody to be successful. I want everybody to be happy. I promote happiness. I promote happiness over money. Leave me alone. Let me live.
Jay is the adult Barney.
Ladies and gentlemen, this was another different perspective podcast. If we don't come back to do another podcast, it's because the cat done whooped his ass and he's healing up. But we hope that
our time apart in 4 days will help.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah, right. You come home and locks change. You got cats.
I got rid of this mother-fucker. It worked.
Right.
Shit, check your brake lines over here with the cat. All right, I'm done. My name is Mr. I don't know what the hell my name is. My name's Cliff. I want to sign up. Give you a sign up.
Tyler out. I'm out of here.
Archie Rhodes, peace.
Gang.